Have you ever noticed a slight tremble in your hands that just won't stop? For many, it's the first sign of something deeper. Imagine this. A man named Mark checks into a hospital ward. He's not just losing sleep, he's losing memories, his appetite, and the quiet confidence he once had. On his second morning, a nurse gives him a small tablet and says, "This is thiamine. It helps the brain." It sounds incredibly simple, right? But that little vitamin, also known as B1, started one of the most crucial repairs his body could possibly make after years of heavy drinking. If you or someone you know is trying to stop drinking, this story is incredibly important. Thiamine can be the deciding factor between a mental fog that slowly lifts and a brain injury that becomes permanent. It's not a magic pill, but science and decades of clinical experience show it as one of the most vital tools we have to protect the brain during alcohol recovery. So, what is this tiny molecule, and why is it so powerful? Think of your brain cells, your neurons, as tiny, energy-hungry engines. They need fuel to run, and thiamine is a key part of the machinery that converts sugar into usable energy. It's an essential cofactor. Now, long-term alcohol use does a triple whammy on your thiamine supply. It often leads to a poor diet, it reduces how much thiamine your body can absorb from food, and it impairs your liver's ability to store it. When this happens, the brain's energy supply starts to fail. The parts of the brain that control memory, coordination, and even eye movement are the most vulnerable. If left unchecked, this deficiency can lead to a severe and life-threatening brain disorder called Wernicke's encephalopathy. For those who survive it, it can lead to Korsakoff's syndrome, a chronic and devastating memory disorder. You might be able to form new memories, but you can't recall things from your past. This is why hospitals and treatment centers routinely give thiamine to people withdrawing from alcohol. The risk of Wernicke's is real, but it is also preventable. Major clinical guidelines from around the world recommend offering thiamine to anyone at high risk. This isn't just a guess, it's a pragmatic safety measure built on years of experience. The logic is simple. The potential benefit is massive and the risk of giving thiamine is incredibly low. Now, you might be surprised to learn that we don't have a ton of large-scale randomized trials telling us the exact perfect dose for every single person. It's an area where more research is needed. However, what we do have is a mountain of observational studies, clinical audits, and biochemical research that all point to the same conclusion. Giving thiamine works. It reduces the chances of developing Wernicke's encephalopathy and helps correct the underlying deficiency. Recent research also shows a clear link between improving thiamine levels and seeing real, measurable improvements in brain function. Things like attention, memory, and decision-making get better, especially when thiamine is given early in the recovery process. But the benefits of thiamine go even further. Yes, preventing a catastrophic brain injury is the #1 priority, but its role is much broader. By restoring the brain's energy production, thiamine helps neurons stabilize and recover, which is critical during those first few tough weeks of sobriety. It can also subtly improve mood and energy levels, providing a quiet boost to motivation when it's needed most. And it doesn't stop at the brain. Chronic alcohol use can also damage nerves in your arms and legs, causing neuropathy, that tingling, burning, or weakness. Thiamine is a key part of the treatment to protect and sometimes even improve nerve function. Let's go back to Mark. On his third day in the ward, he sat by the window trying to remember the name of his childhood dog. He couldn't. The staff explained how alcohol-related brain injury can steal specific types of memories. They started him on a higher dose of thiamine, created a balanced meal plan, and scheduled regular cognitive checks. Slowly, over weeks, small things started to come back. First, the ability to focus for 10 minutes, then 30. His sense of time became clearer. He felt a quiet pride when he could recall pictures in a memory test. Recovery is never a straight line, but these weren't just feelings. They were real changes consistent with what we see when thiamine levels are restored. So how is thiamine actually given? This is where clinical judgment comes in. Because the evidence for one-size-fits-all dosing isn't there yet, treatment is individualized. Someone who is severely malnourished, is vomiting, or already showing neurological signs will likely receive thiamine through an IV or an injection, at least at first. This gets the vitamin into their system quickly and effectively. Others who are at lower risk might receive oral tablets. The key is that clinicians follow guidelines and monitor the person's progress, adjusting the treatment as needed. The approach is better safe than sorry because thiamine is extremely safe, with serious side effects being very rare. The balance of risk versus reward is heavily in favor of supplementation. This isn't just a niche medical fact, it's becoming standard practice. Many health systems have now embedded thiamine supplementation directly into their alcohol withdrawal protocols. There are even discussions about broader public health strategies, like better nutritional screening for at-risk groups and public health messages about the dangers of malnutrition linked to heavy drinking. But for the individual, the takeaway is clear and immediate. If you are stopping alcohol, ask your doctor about thiamine. It's a crucial conversation to have. Months later, Mark was walking with a steadier gait. He was more curious, more engaged with the little details of life. The name of a new cafe, the tune of a song on the radio. Thiamine didn't do this alone, of course. Detox support, counseling, family, and a healthy diet were all essential parts of his journey. But thiamine was the quiet biochemical ally that worked behind the scenes. It prevented a devastating brain injury and gave his brain the support it needed to heal, giving him a real chance at recovery. If this information has been helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more content that can make a real difference. Your support helps us share vital knowledge with those who need it most. Thank you for watching, and take care.